Everybody, hopefully you guys can hear me. Let me get a comment in the chat if you guys can. Like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat. Let's do our intros. What's going on, everybody? What's up? What's up? What's up? All right. So this is about feminism stalling out again. So it comes in waves. Um, I guess what the lefties would say progress, and then kind of stall or stagnation, maybe a step back or two, and then progress, air quotes, progress again, whatever that means in this context. But okay, so for those of you that watched the link in the video, link in the comment section, goddamn, link in the description box. Let's get that out correctly. Yeah, so let's address a few things why a lot of young people aren't considering themselves feminists, including black women, including young women, including lefties. Because yes, the video was correct about it becoming extremely cringe, and what's something y'all didn't want to call it, a lot of man hating, and man bashing and power grabbing under the guise of like female empowerment, and a bunch of megalomaniac women claiming to do things for other women and be a representation for other women when really they only out for themselves. And the white elite capitalists using token one-off women's, the Sheryl Sandbergs of the world, to see, look, we're not sexist. This is where you get lean in, right? The issue with women is that y'all just won't lean in and just, really, that's the issue, right? So the reason, and let's get into it. Naive men who thought that women were the ally, right? And women were morally superior to men and actually tried to ally with them. And then the women who thought they had allies. And you talk to women and they tell you more and more how much many of their worst bosses were other women, right? Many of their worst bosses were other women. And so in that environment, you wonder why more and more young people, young women are not calling themselves feminists. Plus, more and more young women don't actually like being breadwinners. They don't like this rise and grind type of environment, right? They tried the girl boss thing, failed flat, right? They tried the working crazy hours thing, fell flat. They tried a bunch of these things. Maybe a handful of you radical feminists, and excuse my background, maybe a handful of you radical feminists were really calling some of these things out. Obviously not for the betterment of the overall society, but for women like you in particular, which many of you are like same-sex loving women, but that's a different conversation, right? You're gonna get pushback from a lot of young women. They're going to colleges and it's a 60-40 split. Women to men, right? They're coming out of colleges and university, getting into their careers, some of them working some 50, 60 hours a week, no love life, nothing to show for it except for a few nice things, right? Perpetually single, maybe having sex with whoever, but perpetually single, right? You wonder why there's a backlash. It's clear. It's so evident. And what the women on the take are proposing is that women return to a more radical form of feminism. What? So hyper-capitalist feminism isn't working for y'all? Girl boss feminism isn't working for y'all? Man-bashing feminism isn't working for y'all? Right? Using feminism as a power grab against elite white men isn't working for y'all? That's what you're saying? Right? This is like some interesting, it's funny that the channel is called The Take. It is a funny take. It is a funny take. Right? Many women, heterosexual straight women, want to, and excuse my background, train tracks, train tracks, train tracks, train tracks, and we're done. Heterosexual women are showing you that like they're at their wits' end with this. They're complaining all over the internet. They're complaining about having to wake up early to go to work. They're complaining about their horrible love lives. They're complaining about their oftentimes female bosses, right? Because their foremothers, like some of you on the take, promised them a brighter future if they would just defecate on men, spend an inordinate amount of time worried about their grades in academia, and that's good. That's actually good, but many of them don't have anything to show for this at the end of the day. No family, well into their 30s, nothing to really show for it. Like, once again, like I said, but a few nice things. Maybe an okay apartment in a downtown area of their major city. An entry-level luxury car. A few expensive bags, and that's it. Right? Vacation here or there, maybe 2 and 3 times a year. Nothing meaningful. The reason why feminism is stalling out this time is because it was built on too many lies. And many of you went along with it, right? Many of you women went along with the lies, with the BS, and single as hell, miserable as hell, and nothing to show for this supposed equality that many of you ladies claim that you wanted. Well, the young women are saying they don't actually want equality. If this is what equality looks like, then they don't want it. If equality looks like 50-hour and 60-hour plus work weeks for women, they don't want it. If that's what equality looks like, right? That's what the women are saying, the young women, right? And where are the feminists for the answers for that? They're saying if equality looked like them being the financial, the breadwinners of their household, they don't want it, right? That's what these young ladies are saying, right? These young ladies are saying, yeah, I want to be able to do for myself if worse comes to worse, but I don't like this notion of me being, once again, the financial breadwinner. I don't like that responsibility, right? As a matter of fact, what are they saying? I can't be with a man I make more money than. There's too much hypocrisy and contradictions in the feminist movement. That's the problem. It's such a, y'all tried the big tent thing and it's not working. Young men and young women will push back on this because simply it's too many lies and too much BS. Right? When everybody gets an inkling, and not just men, but even women notice, wait a minute, this Me Too thing looks like a power grab. Right? And it was cringe. The street harassment campaign was very cringe. Young people not getting together anyway. You're trying to tell me a attractive young woman passes you on the street and there's no real way to approach her? Because she's bought into some notion of, excuse me, any type of, hey, beautiful, what's going on? Hello, ma'am, could I speak to you first a minute? Any way of approaching her is some type of harassing her? Then we get into the mansplaining, and then we get into the men sitting with their legs too open, and they're doing that to assert their power and dominance over women. Yes, it got real cringe, and none of you said anything. Where were all of you when that chick tried to bury Aziz? I'm sorry, huh? Where were you? right? Y'all still trying to make Johnny Depp's ex the victim when she was clearly a whole monster in that relationship. You're worried about the backlash because, oh my God, this makes us look so bad. Instead of worrying about the fact that the lady knew she could play victim because women like you and some loser ass dudes would defend her regardless. Once again, like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat, right? That's the problem. Y'all are so busy worried about the optics of these things, and the young people got to live with the consequences of what y'all set up. The women got to live with the fact that y'all made this toxic ass environment where young people can't get together because so many of the young women are insufferable, right? So many of the young women are insufferable. They do not know how to relate to men, and they actually feel a little ashamed if they want a man. You imagine being bombarded with such toxic messages that you feel a little ashamed, that you feel lonely because you want a man, you want to be in a relationship, you want to be touched, you want to be hugged, you want to be kissed, right? And in that environment, the take acts like you, it just touched on it. Yeah, you know, it went a little cringe. No, it went a lot cringe for a long time. And many of you women were in cahoots with racist, white, elite men to destroy working class men. Y'all know, you know they put y'all in a bunch of middle management positions because they're not afraid of women. And once y'all once y'all started Me Tooing them, they were like, okay, our job here is done. They're getting way too big for their britches. Now they think they actually got some real power to take us down. Oh, wait, they took a couple of us down. Okay, don't hire them anymore. How many of you want to admit that white racist elite men saw y'all as less of a threat all through the 50s and 60s, and that's why they promoted y'all? Ooh. Oops. Huh? How many feminists want to admit that? Who funded y'all? Whoa. Oops. Gloria Steinem, FBI agent? Oops. Or informant, at least. Right? Do y'all really want to have that conversation? Do you? Do you want to have the conversation about where your sons and your daughters are respectively right now when it comes to their education? Or was this the plan altogether so that your daughters could be in same-sex relationships? Shout out to all the radical feminists out there. Right? Women got what they wanted and they're miserable. Many women got what they asked for and they're miserable. Y'all wanted, I said this the other night, y'all wanted the positions, y'all got them. Right? Y'all wanted the positions, y'all got them. Y'all wanted certain income, you got it. 44% of women make more than their respective male counterparts, so I'm being told. So we getting close to parity. We're getting close to half. Right? You wanted the kids, you got them. You wanted the child support system and the family court to be on your side, you got it. Right? And you're miserable. And you're miserable. You're not even fully on par with men, and you're at Actually, once you get under a certain age, that's actually not true. So many of you got what you wanted, and now you're miserable. And more young men, regardless of race, in the West, especially in America, are doing the, you know what, let me just get my passport and get out of here. So your daughters won't even have the men to marry to get divorced from them in the next 10 years anyway. You got what you wanted. You're trying to renege on it now. You're trying to say that's not exactly what you were saying now. I could tell the take is full of a bunch of white feminist women. Shout out to whatever weirdo sister is up with y'all. You could tell. Are y'all even doing the social math? Or are you doing the social math, but you have decided that whoever falls apart, whoever gets shredded, including other women, with some of the things y'all are advocating for, oftentimes that flies in the face of other things you're advocating for? Right? You can't have a big tent and help all of these people because half of them want something different than the other half. This is when race comes in. This is when class comes in. Elizabeth Holmes used that whole girl boss feminist stick to bamboozle people out of billions. Right? This is the game. And now we have the women from the take speaking about feminism stalling, essentially, and why it might be stalling. It's stalling because young women are like, if this is what it is, I don't want no parts of this. I don't want no parts of 50-hour work weeks. Going home to my dog in my empty apartment. Train tracks, train tracks, train tracks, train tracks. Right? Like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat. If this is what it is, I don't want no parts of this. Now, many of them still have too much pride to openly say it, but yeah, they don't want no parts of this. Competing against the men, having the society put the thumb on the scales for the women going to school, getting their education, coming out, making whatever normal middle class money, and then realizing, oh, wait a minute, where's my husband? Where's my husband? Uh-oh. Right? Uh-oh. And then feminists are nowhere to be found. Outside of the same-sex loving ones that are waiting for these women with open arms, yeah, no. Y'all signed up for the girl boss feminism. Yeah, there were people critiquing Sheryl Sandberg. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Not enough, though. Not enough. That lean in crap, how many of y'all signed up for that? How many of y'all signed up for Hillary Clinton brand of feminism? Margaret Thatcher brand of feminism? Or girl power or woman power? Right? How many of you tried to shame your boyfriends and your husbands and other women to vote for Hillary Clinton? Right? You're speaking about women's rights being removed and the repeal of abortion without acknowledging all the women that wanted that. That could not have went through or passed without white women. Both actually on the Supreme Court, and all those conservative and maybe moderate white women that also don't want abortion, right? Do not want abortion legal. So we just gonna ignore that? Oh, or are we also gonna ignore the 52, 53% of white women that also voted for Trump? Ooh, yeah. After grab them by the P, by the way. How many of y'all would have voted for him if he just would have never got caught saying that? Feminism's going out of favor, at least for now, again, because of the hypocrisy, because of the economy. Ooh, oh, I wasn't supposed to say that part. So, everybody want to claim rights and empowerment until people's pockets start hurting. Until women are all in their 30s living at home with their parents. Right? That sounds good. Right? Y'all are not being honest. Y'all are not being honest. You just covered, y'all just did a video a couple months ago or a month ago about manifesting. And why so many of these young people, namely women, are speaking in this kind of weird, in this weird way. Right? You just spoke about this. They're breaking. They're not believing in feminism because they don't want to be alone. That's why. They don't want to do it by themselves. They actually kind of want a man to take charge. Right? Don't worry, this thing start tipping too far to the other side with this college enrollment, and then women will stop going as much also. Yeah, and I'm gonna address that too. I might try to change the channel a little. I'm gonna address that also. Detroit says, I heard women said black men are the fathers of WS, white supremacy. Interesting. Interesting. All right. Detroit, I see you. I'm trying not to go on a rant. I'm trying. Charles says, I've heard women just say, what is it? I've heard that women just say dumb shit. Right? The take was just being, there's like, they made some fair points, but a lot of it was just disingenuous. Very disingenuous. The struggle is many of the reason why the women are falling out of favor with feminism. The backlash is coming from the fact that we all know Amber Heard was full of crap. And some of you are still defending her. The backlash is coming from the weirdo woman that dated Aziz Ansari, trying to make it seem like he did something to her. That's what it is. The women that keep on getting caught with fake grape allegations. That's why. The fact that Me Too looked like a big power grab or a witch hunt. That's why. Why so many women are falling out of favor with feminism and young people. How many of these young boys are being barked down to by some girl and then he can't respond because he's going to come off as some sexist or misogynist? Of course there's going to be a backlash. Between the economy putting its foot in a lot of these people's rear end and more and more young women realizing that yes, they might have worked hard, yes, they might have been studious in school, yes, all of that, but much of their rise is because of the system. Much of their rise is because of the system. And their rise is coming at the expense of their brothers. And their future husbands. And future boyfriends. That's what a lot of the young women are slowly realizing. We're getting to the equilibrium, and they're not liking the fact that they're the primary breadwinner in some of these households. Right? Charles says, feminism failed when they forgot or omitted the fact that you have to take good look. I think you take good look of the responsibility your damn self. It's hilarious because to us it's just average man stuff. Exactly. And then you said, oh yeah, and retrospect, we gotta understand that the women are not the most logical one explaining their actions, but they're absolutely diabolical when it comes to avoiding accountability. Can anybody say the Matrix? Bullet dodging, right? Feminism is falling out of favor because of the hypocrisy, the clear and blatant hypocrisy on display on a daily basis. That these young women are working for other women who are complete and total a-holes. You ask women, would they rather work for a man or a woman? And women will tell you they would rather work for a man because of their own experiences. So what are we going to say? That's all internalized misogyny? Yeah, that's it. Right? That's all internalized misogyny. Huh. The take was being real disingenuous with some of these points. Some of the backlash, some of the women you seeing pushing more traditionalism is because they actually don't like what they're seeing. Right? Many of the people that are falling out of favor with feminism are women because of their experiences, because of what they've seen, because them seeing women kind of do this whole, I'm going to use feminism as a way to stick it to men and absolve myself of any type of responsibility and accountability because I'm a woman and the only reason he's coming at me is because I'm a woman. Never mind the fact all of the things I've done. Feminism has allowed women to think they can walk around the world, around the West, better yet, especially in America, being mean and nasty to other people, namely men, under the banner of some cosmic justice get back. And everything they do is absolved once they start talking intersectionality in feminist language. Right? Feminism fell out of favor when more and more women realized, what would the end of what we think patriarchy is look like for real? Now, whether patriarchy still exists is a whole different question. We saw, like I said, 52 to 53% of white women vote for Donald Trump because they would much rather be Melania Trump than Hillary Clinton. They would, and that's after the grab them by the P comment. What feminism? See, we have to be honest. And I think the women from the take understand this and know this. Most women would rather be under a shrewd, pot-belly, annoying, rich, entitled, born with a spoon up his rear end, white man than be a girl boss feminist like Hillary Clinton. Women showed you, white women at least, showed you where their vote of confidence was. And it was with the rich white dude. Not saying that Bill Clinton is not rich and well connected and a Rhodes Scholar and blah, blah, blah. Former president, right? Former, senator of governor of Arkansas, right? Been cheating since been cheating, right? But when it came down to decide whether we want to be the boss or whether we want to be the wife of the boss, white women showed you they would rather be the wife of the boss. Right? They showed you they would rather be the wife of the boss instead of being the boss. Right? The take has to be honest about how these things conflict with each other and how many women just simply cannot be in a relationship with men who they are socially and economically and politically more powerful than, more influential than. Right? The take, that's going to be a real issue for women in general. The conflict between what I say and what I'm actually into. Professor Bugs, the sociologist, showed us that. She told us about that. Women essentially virtue signaling about what they like and what they want in men. But then when you see what they actually are attracted to, it's something different. It's something different. So of course you're gonna get a backlash and maybe a stalling of feminism at this point. All that hyper consumerism, wrapped up in some female empowerment, it's hollow. Right? Don't worry about having children. Don't worry about no man. Don't worry about this. Just focus on your career. Grind until you die. Optimize yourself. Those women did this for a couple decades now. They don't have anything to show for it. Gen Z and younger millennials are looking at extra women and thinking to themselves, I don't want that. A bunch of divorced, unhappy, miserable women, if they even got married in the first place, and a few of them with no children and miserable. So let me get this right. A handful of tokens, that's white, black, and otherwise, but for the most part, a bunch of extra women, regardless of race in America, with nothing to really show. A couple of pictures from girls' trips, one or two luxury cars they've owned in their life, and maybe a house. Maybe a couple of kids that really can't stand them and can't be in the house to go visit mom for more than an hour. Gen Z and young millennial women are looking at Generation X women like, that is what you want me to aspire for? That now does that mean all Gen Z women are thinking like that? No, or all young millennial women? Of course not. But for a sizable chunk, when they look out in the landscape and they see that's their future, they want no parts of it. Not all, maybe not most. But for what? Right? For what? So of course it's gonna stall out. Of course. That look at the environment. Look at the environment. And we're only 60-40 split right now in college. Projected to be 63, 66, 33 in the next decade. And you're telling these women to sign up for that. Sign up for more girl boss feminism. I know I saw you guys, you ladies, excuse me, poo-pooed it on your video, but sign up for that, right? So I'll pause right there. You know, I plan on doing a video maybe later on in the morning or tomorrow morning reviewing Jessica X conversation. Yes, Jessica X is back. Um, and the conversation you had with some of those couple of divestors that she had on her channel. I think it was a couple days ago, and yeah, horrible, absolutely horrible. Shout out to Jessica X for backing. If that was even a real black woman, I don't know if that was a real black woman. She didn't sound like a black woman, but assuming that she was, right? Every time Jessica X or another person backed her into a corner, she flipped the script. For those of you that saw the video, the young lady didn't stand on anything. Well, I'm saying young, she's 41. So yeah, didn't stand on anything ever. Doesn't know what she's talking about, but when did that ever stop women like her? Right? So I'll truly pause right there. Detroit asked me, "Are you going to be on Arch Channel?" Yeah, I'm probably going on Arch Channel in a little bit, but I have some work to do before I do that. Um, and thank y'all for listening in. But yes, so this, I guess, whatever phase of feminism this is it 3 or 4 now, right? Um, Wave of feminism, better yet. What is this? Third wave, fourth wave feminism? I guess I'm not sure. Whatever wave this is, I guess it's coming to a bit of a close, and I guess we revisit this again when it starts over again in a year or 2 or 5 or 10, however long it is before we get another resurgence of some modern Me Too or street harassment campaign, or I guess black women are still holding the banner because they're running around here with Paris Milan and talking points about black femicide. So I guess black women are still with the feminist stuff, but yeah, white women on the other hand are like, yeah, this ain't looking too good right now. We might want to take a couple steps back. But yeah, okay, everyone, y'all have a great rest of your night. Go check out other channels in the Black Manosphere. Go check out other channels of everything to learn something so you don't sound myopic and ignorant as some of these other people are. Yeah, so we'll pause right there. Y'all have a good rest of y'all night. Mr. Z out. All right, everyone.